My name is Brittany and I will be your safari guide today as we're making our way out to the Harambe Wildlife Reserve. Now hopefully we'll be able to see a lot of animals this morning on the reserve. I'm going to do my best to point out for you. Now we're not able to stop for every single animal, so if you guys do want to take pictures, just make sure you have your cameras ready. I would recommend holding on tight to those devices. The roads out here get a little bumpy. Can't stop for anything that falls out of the truck. So friends, because it is bumpy out here, just make sure we are staying fully seated at all times. That does include all small travelers. They can sit on your laps. If they do want a better view, just make sure they stay seated the entire safari. Keep all hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the vehicle at all times. Now if you guys want to look above your heads on the roof of the truck, you're going to find our animal spotting guides. We probably aren't going to see all of them, but we usually have pretty good luck, so just keep an eye out for them. If you see something I miss, you can check out that spotting guide, figure out what it is, but I'll try my best to point them out for you. Our first stop today as we make our way into the reserve is going to take us into the Little Ituri Forest. And this area is home to many shy and reclusive animals. I like to hide. We'll keep an eye out. Looks like over to our right side we're going to see our first animal. It's called an okapi. Now the okapi has a dark brown coat and some really pretty white stripes on its legs. Oh, okapis do kind of resemble zebras with those party pants. They're not related at all. This is actually the only living relative of the giraffe.
Oh, wow.
They have a lot of things in common with their cousins, such as their skull structure, which is nearly identical. They also have a long prehensile tongue, which basically just means finger-like. They're able to wrap that tongue around branches of trees and bushes, pull all their food down, just like a giraffe does. Very good at hiding here in the forest thanks to those stripes, so that camouflage is really, really important for them. The same for the antelope that are going to be coming up here to our right-hand side. If you look up on this hill as we're driving by, you're going to see some bongos. So bongos are this darker, kind of rusty-colored antelope that have the horns that slant backwards. Now what this does is help them move through the trees and bushes out here in the forest, and they won't get tangled on anything because of the way those horns swoop backwards. So it works out pretty well. You're able to easily escape predators very quietly too. Also up on your right is a light tan colored antelope called the greater kudu. You can kind of see her as we're driving by here. She's got those big ears. Now she doesn't have any horns. That's actually how I know it is a she, because usually male greater kudu have horns, but females will not. Very tall though for an antelope. They can get up to about 5 feet at the shoulder and weigh up to 750 pounds. With that though, friends, we're going to go ahead and leave the forest all together now. We're going to start heading down the South River. Down here at Safi, I would recommend you keep your eyes out on the surface of the water. A lot of animals will hide down below the surface. So if you see any bubbles or ripples, might be something down there. It looks like over to our right, as we're driving down the hill here, you're going to see some white birds that have very long bills. These are called the pink-backed pelicans. Now they don't look too pink right now, but it is the color they get during mating season on their backs. Very light pink color. It kind of looks like they're blushing. That's how they attract a partner. Over to our left, there also are some hippos. They're in the water. Right behind the island down there, you can see the top of their backs. Kind of my drums, to be honest. The hippos can be over 5,000 pounds, fully grown. A group of them when they're together like this is called a float of hippos. B-L-O-A-T. Now, they spend most of their days in the water, but it's kind of a common misconception. People believe hippos cannot swim. And they can. We just won't see them do it very often because these guys prefer to sink down to the bottom and they'll walk along the riverbed. A lot easier for them. That's actually how they got their name. They gain a gallop under the water. There's one sleeping over there. Now also coming up to our left, you're going to see some Nile crocodiles down here. There's one all the way back at the wall up there. From the bank you can see it. Largest crocodilian in Africa, about 16 feet in length. Francis, make sure we're staying fully seated for me. predators, but they're also very loving and protective parents. They're going to help their little babies, help them hatch out of the eggs that they lay. They'll scoop those eggs up inside of their mouths and use their tongue to roll them around, using those powerful jaws to break up the shells. Our little ones can hatch a bit easier. I'll leave them this off here for those. We'll say goodbye to those crocodiles. Next, we're going to be making our way out to the largest area of the reserve. This area is known as the savannah. That's to our right. As we're driving by, you're going to see kind of a strange-looking tree here next to us. It's called a baobab tree. A baobab trees, they go leafless for about 9 months out of every year. Helps the tree conserve water and store it inside their trunks. That ends up being a great resource for the animals that might need that water. They can use their tusks or horns to poke holes in the tree. Get that moisture is how it's got the nickname the tree of life. We'll see who's out on the savannah today. We'll head across. Looks like we're going to see a wildebeest coming up here. Wildebeest is at the bottom of this hill, coming up on our right-hand side. There's a couple of them back behind us to the right. Wildebeest migrate every year in very large numbers too. They're actually the second most densely packed herd of mammals on Earth, right behind humans. Every year, over 1.5 million wildebeest will cross Africa. They can travel up to about 1,000 miles in search of food and water, so it's really important they stay together during that migration so they can look out for each other, look out for predators. Over to our right, you're going to see the Maasai giraffe standing right in the middle below those trees out there, getting a little snack. Or some breakfast, I should say. Giraffes are the tallest land animals, so they can get upwards of 18 to 20 feet tall. They spend pretty much their entire day eating. They are always looking for food. Again, that prehensile tongue to grab onto their food off of trees. Over to our left, there also are some painted dogs. If you guys look where that rocky area is, that den, if you look to the right of it, kind of in this front corner of the trees on the ground, you might see the painted dogs that are laying down in there. And those really pretty orange coats with black and white on them. Very successful predators. Painted dogs will chase their prey until eventually it collapses from exhaustion. Over to our left, there's another giraffe. We also have some elands, which are these large antelope here. About 6 feet at the shoulder. Those horns are massive. Not as big as these ones though. Some Ankole cattle. Hey friends, just make sure we're not screaming, okay? We don't want to disturb the animals while we're out here. If we can keep the volume down a little bit, that would be great. Over to our left though, the Ankole cattle. So those horns can get up to about 4 feet long. Not super heavy though. Not completely solid on the inside, those horns. They're able to pump blood through them actually. And doing so will help them regularly cool down their body temperature. Also have the sable antelope coming up on our left over here. So this one with the horns that kind of curve backwards. It's a deterrent for predators. They won't attack from behind. Rather sharp. So they're able to defend themselves if they need to. They even hold their ground against those predators instead of running away. A lot of other antelope will be a lot more skittish, but these guys are territorial, very fearsome, super brave. Hold up here though, because I do see some zebras coming up next. It's going to be the Hartman's Mountain Zebra. There's also going to be some springback coming up here, which is a very small little antelope. So you'll see both of these animals coming up here on the right-hand side at the very, very top of this hill, kind of by that big tree that splits into three. So that's the Hartman's Mountain Zebra. They all have unique stripe patterns similar to us and our fingerprints. When they're together in a herd, though, a group of zebras is called a dazzle. And then the little guy, the springbok, it's that small little antelope up there, kind of to the left of the zebras. So they're really good jumpers. They have the ability to leap around 6 feet up in the air from a standing position and can go around 13 feet forward at the same time. So if they wanted to, they could actually jump right through the middle of this truck to the other side without any problems. How they're able to escape predators really quickly. Now up ahead though, I see a sign of a bigger animal around. So these trees that are coming up here that have been knocked over, that's a good sign of elephant activity, because elephants are kind of like bulldozers out here. So it looks like we're going to see an elephant coming up here pretty soon. It's going to be just up ahead here by this next watering hole we're going to pass by. See it over here to your right. This is the largest land animal on the planet. African elephants can weigh up to 13,000 pounds. They have really, really sensitive skin, so similar to how you might put on sunscreen before you go outside. So elephants in the morning, you'll see them use their trunks to throw dirt on their backs. It kind of works like that sunscreen for them. They use that trunk for just about everything they do, actually. Get all their food and water. Elephant trunks have more muscles in it than we have in our entire bodies, so they have over 100,000 muscles inside of that trunk alone. I'll see if we can find maybe, oh, there's another one. See if we can find the rest of the herd though. We're gonna head up across this next bridge. We'll head to the other side of elephant country and another watering hole, I think. Looks like all around us here we are passing through something called red clay, my friends. You'll see it in the walls. Now this is something that elephants actually eat to help supplement their diet. You can see where they've been digging the clay out using their tusks. If you look to your right here, where they've been scraping against the walls. Red clay has a lot of minerals and other good stuff for them. It's kind of like their version of a daily multivitamin. Now the tusks they have though are super important. They are unfortunately poached in the wild for those tusks since they are made of ivory, and that sells for a lot of money. That's something you guys can do to help wildlife such as elephants, is just be mindful of your purchases as you guys are traveling. Try to stay away from animal products as much as you can. Luckily the demand for those items means that poachers won't have any reason to go after them, and that can help protect and save them. But a little closer to home, you can use that money instead to donate to different wildlife organizations if you like. There are plenty of them that could use your help. Especially if you have a favorite animal. See if you can figure out an animal program that is supporting it, and then you can directly support them. Now we're going to get a really good view of these elephants though coming up here. They're right down here by this watering hole coming up on our left. So we're going to stop here in just a second. Have those cameras ready though. It's a great view of both of them.
Olha os dois pra cá rápido, pra pegar o elefante atrás. Dante Luca, Dante Luca.
So we have them over here. Now as we continue on just a little further up ahead, we also have some flamingos coming up here. There's quite a few of them on this island too. Now these are called greater flamingos. They are the largest of all the flamingo species, and the tail is shade of pink too. When they hatch though, flamingos are actually not pink at all. They're going to be gray, and it takes about 2 years of eating shrimp for their diet to slowly change those feathers to that pink color that they're known for. So it takes a little bit of time and a whole lot of shrimp to eat. But they are one of my favorites because a group of them is actually called a flamboyance, which I think is pretty fitting. We'll say goodbye to this flamboyance, so we'll say goodbye to those elephants too. One final look at them before we head out of here. See if we can head over to the eastern half of the reserve. So that's over here. Alright, now coming up here on our left is a mud wallow. You might feel the mud on the ground. Now rhinos, they like to roll in mud, very similar for elephants throwing dirt on their backs. So they do it for the same reason, to protect their skin. We're actually going to see some white rhinos coming up to our right over here. Just up on this hill over here on the side. White rhinos are the largest rhino found in Africa, about 5,000 to 6,000 pounds. A group of them when they're together is called a crush. So we'll say goodbye to the crush rhinos. They have really poor eyesight, but they do have excellent hearing. You'll oftentimes see their ears kind of moving around, rotating back and forth, listening for whatever might be going on around them. Well, let's come up this way though. We're gonna head through these hills. Keep an eye out, friends. We're heading into cat country. See if we can find some predators up here somewhere. They have amazing camouflage skills usually, so they're not always easy to see. Gonna help them. Oh, I see one up ahead. Way up here, friends. A cheetah. Do you guys see it up on the left? It's walking around underneath these trees in this mixed little area. There it is. Cheetahs are the fastest land mammal. They can reach speeds of 50 to 60 miles per hour in less than 3 seconds. So they have a few things to help them with that, though. Their claws are non-retractable. They're always out. Quite a few of them over here. So they basically use that kind of like cleats to get traction as they're running. The tail, though, that's more used like a boat's rudder. It's going to help them change direction, keep their balance while they're running, making those turns while they're chasing their prey. These guys are daytime hunters, whereas most other cats on the savannah are going to hunt at night. So they do have a little bit of an advantage, and they don't have to go up against those larger predators either. The predators of all shapes and sizes love these rock formations on our left, though. These islands of stone on the savannah are called copy rocks. And what it does is just allow a vantage point for predators to hang out so they can see what's going on all around. Get an idea of where other animals are. Over to your right, a little brown antelope up here up on the hill, comes waterbuck. They're super cute. Got some more rhinos over here too, and then a couple of ostrich way over there. You might see them standing next to that truck kind of parked in the back there. So ostriches are the largest bird on the planet. They can get up to about 7 to 9 feet tall. They can't fly though, which is probably for the best, but they can run really fast at around 40 miles an hour. Typically they're going to use their wings for balance, kind of like the cheetah uses its tail. As for that waterbuck that we passed, that little brown antelope, the reason they get their name is because they drink more water than any other antelope out here. It's like an abnormally large amount of water. Usually close to those sources if they can be. Now real quick, friends, look behind us, back to the left-hand side. You're going to see some warthogs through the trees back there. They're kind of hanging out up by that rock wall. They kind of look like furry rocks, so you might have to kind of squint a little bit, but they're very cute. This is Puma, if you guys have seen The Lion King. They're very good diggers, and they like to burrow out holes using their sharp tusks they have. We'll review the rhinos, though. Looks like those two we saw are three came over to this side now and joined up with a few more. White rhinos are grazers, so they eat off the ground, pretty much anything they can get to. There's ostrich back there too. So those are actually female ostrich. You can tell by the color of their feathers. Females have kind of that lighter gray color, and males are usually a lot darker. Black. You can see some of their eggs too, actually. If you look to your right over here on the ground, kind of out by that tall grass there. Those yellow shells, those are ostrich eggs. About 3 pounds each. Alrighty, last stop for today though, my friends. We're heading into the Warden's Outpost. Now personally, I always love coming through here. I know we've already seen some pretty incredible animals on the reserve, but I love these guys. They're so cute. These are the Nigerian dwarf goats you're going to see here on the left-hand side, just on the other side of the fence here. They're so cute. They're pretty small. This is their full-grown size, and they are dairy goats. So they're actually really important for a lot of farms in Africa who will sell those products that the goats produce. Milk, cheese, things like that. It's going to help the local economy and also prevent the farmers from retaliating against livestock or trying to go after them, or the wildlife I should say. Because we know we're pretty close to wildlife, so if we could try to be better neighbors and look out for them and try to keep them safe, it's going to be really beneficial for them in the future. So of course there's so many ways to make a difference, friends, and the really important thing is just getting started, doing whatever you can to help animals, because they are really relying on us for their futures. Now some simple things you can do. Try to cut down on your use of single-use plastic if you're able to. Getting a reusable water bottle is a great way to do that, so you're not using those plastic bottles as often. There's also a lot of small changes you can make at home to more sustainable products, such as bamboo products, better for the environment. Especially since bamboo is a grass and not a tree, it grows super duper fast. Some species grow several feet in a single day, so a lot more sustainable than using a lot of wood and other things like that, and especially plastic too. And then just doing your research. If you have a favorite animal, go learn about it. Share what you know. Never know who you can inspire to get involved in conservation. Sharing our passions is the best way to make a difference. I am going to be dropping you off here in just a bit though, friends. No, we're not going to be stopping up ahead here at this dock. We're going to go up to the same area that I picked you up from. So we have a couple extra moments together. Just sit tight for me and I'm going to get a quick call up ahead, let them know we're on our way so that way they have the dock ready for us. Just be a moment or two before we get up there.